Hi, I'm Ernie Borgnine. For heaven's sakes, don't go anywhere. Profiles is coming up.
Welcome to Profiles. I'm Marley Hall. Today's guest is award-winning actor Ernest Borgnine. In 1955, Borgnine won an Oscar for Best Actor for his outstanding performance in the film Marty. This year, at 91 years old, he'll be celebrating his 200th movie role, an accomplishment that is simply extraordinary. After a short break, we'll join our host Mickey Burns as he welcomes the ageless Ernest Borgnine to Profiles. Welcome back to Profiles. At 90 years old, Ernest Borgnine received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor for his role in A Grandpa for Christmas. That nomination made him the oldest Golden Globe nominee ever. Today, at 91, Borgnine is the oldest living actor who has won an Oscar for Best Actor for performances given prior to 1960. So let's join our host Mickey Burns as he welcomes Hollywood legend Ernest Borgnine to Profiles.
Ernest Borgnine, welcome to our show Profiles.
Thank you, sir.
And it certainly is an honor to meet you.
Well, bless your heart. You know, everybody says that. I don't know why. I'm just a working stiff.
Well, you have some body of work,
Well,
and I think that's
bless
part
your heart.
of it.
Thank
That's
you.
part
I've been
of
lucky.
it. And it's all in your latest book, which is your autobiography titled Ernie.
Yeah.
My question is, why did you wait so long to write this great book?
Well, I tell you, I'm lazy, and I just didn't want to get into it. You know, they said, you got a lot of stories to tell. You see that fellow over there, Harry
Yep.
Flynn?
Yep.
He's the one that did it.
He pushed you.
He pushed it. He put that thing underneath my nose, you know, and said,
Sure.
talk into it.
Okay, and you
I
did.
started talking, you know, and the first thing you know, we had something that resembled a book, you know, and we sent it off to Kensington, and they hey, we like this.
Yes.
Come on, let's have more. So we did more, and the first thing you know, here it is.
Sure. Now, there's tons of great stories in the book. But one thing I learned about you prior to writing the book, you spent 10 years as a young man in the Navy. And when I read that, I just wondered, did the Navy experience make you a better actor?
Well, let me say this. I learned an awful lot about life and people.
Sure.
You have to, you know, while you're living in close contact with other people and everything else. Except one time I'll never forget. I did something that I would never have done at home. I was a kind of a young 18-year-old man. I was ready, you know, I'm full of fighting and
Vim and vigor.
Oh, man. And one day we're sitting down to eat, and I said, pass that so-and-so bread. And the bosun picked it up and threw it in my face.
Oof.
And I looked at him, I said, why? What's the matter? He said, next time say please.
Very good.
You know something?
You learn respect.
The greatest lesson of my life.
Interesting.
Because I'd never done it at home, God forbid. My father would have killed me. But, you know, it was one of those things that you learn.
Sure.
And this is why I wouldn't trade one moment of my time in the service. As many times as I said, no, this is terrible, I would never trade 1 minute of it.
All good. Now, in the book, you credit your mother for your acting career. How so?
Well, you know, my mother was a countess in real life. I mean, real royalty, you know?
Yep.
And when I was a 2-year-old, she took me to Italy with her because she left my dad for a while, and because my dad was working on a railroad, you know, and he'd play dice and go around and everything else, and then come home and there'd be no money.
Yeah.
Where's the money, you know? Finally, one day she had enough. She just picked up and left.
That was it.
We went back to Italy, and there we lived a life, a baronial life, with her father, who was the financial advisor to Victor Emmanuel, the king. And so we lived pretty high on the hog, you know. Well, make a long story short, we came back about 4 years later, and but my mother had always wanted to, I'm sure she always wanted to be in theater.
Right.
But it was frowned upon by any of royalty, you know, to get on the stage. And so I guess she took it out on me. And when one day, you know, after World War II and everything else, she said to me, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Mom, for 2 cents I go back in the service and do my other 10 years.
Pension.
And get a pension, you know, at least I'll have something."
Yep.
And she, out of a clear blue sky, she said, "Have you ever thought of becoming an actor? You always like to make a damn fool of yourself in front of people. Why don't you give it a try?"
Right.
And I looked up and I said, "Mom, that's what I'm going to be." Had no idea where to start, what to do, how to get started. Nothing.
Right.
10 years later, I'm being handed an award,
An Academy Award, yeah.
by her princess, you know,
Yeah.
Grace Kelly.
Yep. Yep.
And,
Well,
you know, you kind of say to yourself, "Whoa, wait a minute, back her up. I didn't even know what to do to get started."
sure. In 2008, at 90 years old,
91.
you won a Golden Globe
Oh,
Award nomination
award nomination, yeah.
for your leading role in A Grandpa for Christmas. My question is, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, how do you manage to stay so vibrant and energetic at 90 years old?
You can't say that I force myself. I don't force myself to do anything, you know. But I do kind of keep myself in that kind of feeling of wanting to do more.
Yeah.
I don't allow myself to get placid, you know, and like an old man, the first thing you know, you find yourself in a chair.
Sure.
And what are you doing? You're dead. I keep going. I read a lot of books. I do everything I possibly can. I look at a lot of television and keep up with the events, current events, everything that you can possibly imagine to keep the brain working.
Right, because
I do jumble.
Right,
You know,
exercise
jumble
for the
things.
mind.
Exercise the mind.
Yeah.
And believe it, by doing these motion pictures, it keeps your mind going, and you have to, you know, inhale all those words.
Right. And this year you'll be celebrating your 200th film role.
Possibly.
Hopefully.
I just finished my 199th.
You got to make the 200.
Oh, I'm going to make more than 200.
I mean,
I'll tell
this
you
year.
that. Oh, yeah.
This year. When you look back over a career that spans 50 years, 200 films, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud that I have been able to bring entertainment to people. That's what my mother once said, you know, if you can make one person happy in a span of 24 hours, you've accomplished a great deal. And this is what keeps me going, too, is the fact that, you know, I walk down the street and say, "Hi, how are you?" People look at you sometimes, you know, and they say, "Well, what is he, crazy or something?" Or, "Must be, you know."
Right.
I'm the kind of a guy, my buddy Goober, George Lindsay, one time gave me a great big ape, you know, because we keep sending each other all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I got this ape one time and I put it in the car with me, strapped it down, and I'm talking to it as I'm driving, you know, and his arm is out there swinging, you know, in the breeze, and people say, "Oh my God, that man's gone nuts." But listen, that's what life is all about.
It's what's keeping you sane.
Exactly.
Now you're probably best known for your role as Lieutenant Mchale in the TV sitcom Mchale's Navy, of which you did 148 episodes.
That's right.
I was surprised to read in your book that the original pilot was written as a drama.
That's right.
A serious drama.
7 Against the Sea.
How did it go from that to a comedy?
Well, we had a producer over there in Hollywood that said, "Listen, supposing we take this thing and make it into a little comedy, you know, about a guy that whose captain hates him and puts him over on an island by himself, and he's got his own PT boat, and they'd thought up the whole thing, you know." And so that's what they decided. Now, they called me up one day and they said, "Listen, you made 7 Against the Sea, and we know you love the ocean and everything else. Would you mind very much, you know, being Lieutenant Commander Mchale?" And I said, no, I don't want that. I'm a motion picture actor. You know, I don't do television anymore. Well, next day, as good Lord would have it, there was a knock on my door. Some kid is selling chocolate bars. And he said, gee, he said, your face looks awfully familiar. What I said, my name is James Arness. He said, no, he does Gunsmoke. I said, no, my name is really Richard Boone. He said, no, he does Have Gun Will Travel.
Yep.
I said, son of a gun, he's going to know me when I tell my name. I told him my name.
He
Zilch,
didn't have an idea.
Nothing.
And this is with 20 years of a distinguished film career.
Well, you know.
Right.
Anyway, I called up my agent after he left, and I said, that part's still open? He said, yes. I said, okay, I'll do it. He said, what changed your mind? I said, none of your damn business. But we went in, and boom, the first thing you know, and people said to me, believe it or not, how can you lower yourself from making motion pictures to doing television? And I thought it over, and I said, but it's all entertainment, isn't it?
Absolutely.
People forget this.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got to be high and mighty.
Yes.
You know.
Well, you made the right move looking back, obviously.
I sure did.